Good afternoon. The live stream for AGUHON Live Online Recognition Rights of the UP College of Law Class of 2021 may be viewed on the official Facebook and YouTube accounts of the UP College of Law. The program will start in a few minutes.
Bayang magilin, perlas ng silanganan, halab ng puso, sa dibdib mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, tuyan ka ng magiting, sa manlulupi, di ka pasisihin. Sa dagat at bundok, sa simoy at sa langit mong bukhaw, may hiragang tula at awit sa paglayang minamahal. Ang kislap ng watawat mo'y tagumpay na nanginginig. Ang bituin at araw niya kailan pa may magdidilim. Lupa ng araw ng buwan at ipagsinta, buhay langit sa piling mo. Ang hinigaya na pag may mga api, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Good afternoon to our distinguished guests, faculty, the UP Law Class of 2021 students, and of course their family and friends, all joining us virtually. Welcome to AGUHON, the live online recognition rites for the UP College of Law Batch 2021. I am Micaela Solmarano of UP Law Batch 2022, and I will be one of your hosts this afternoon. Joining me is...
Hello, Mika. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Enzo Lazaro of UP Law Batch 2023. Again, a pleasant afternoon to all our attendees. Today's event is a culmination of a journey that is unique to the class of 2021. This year's recognition rites theme is AGUHON. AGUHON, or Compass, is meant to show how the 226 strong members of the graduating class have navigated several challenges and perhaps even detours and roadblocks. They juggled not only the traditional difficulties of law school itself, but also those of the new normal brought about by COVID-19.
Indeed, and so the pandemic has presented issues and challenges which have tested the resolve of the entire UP community. But today is about recognizing the feat of the students. As a result of their determination, zeal, and passion, we come together to celebrate the end of their journey as students and the beginning of the next chapter of their lives as scholars ng at para sa bayan. Tulad ng isang aguhon, magsisilbi silang gabay sa lipunan. Dala-dala ang kanilang ipinamalas na pag-unawa sa mga prinsipyo at panuntunan na pinag-angklahan ng kaayusan ng lipunan.
Tanga nila ang kakayahang ipagtanggol ang mga karapatan ng kanilang kapwa at ang kapangyarihang itaguyod ang kapakanan ng sambayanan. Upang magbigay ng mensahe, narito ang dekano ng Kolehiyo ng Batas, Profesor Edgardo Carlo Elvistan II.
Mahal na Pangulo ng Universidad ng Pilipinas, Danilo L. Concepcion, mahal na Chancellor ng Universidad ng Pilipinas sa Diliman, Fidel R. Nemenzo, mahal na panauhing pandangal at commencement speaker, dating Senior Associate Justice Antonio T. Carpio, mga mahal na kasama sa kaguruan, administrasyon at kawanihan ng UP Law Complex, mga mahal na nagsipagtapos, at sa iba pang kalahok at nanunood sa recognition rites na ito ng Kolehiyo ng Batas ng Universidad ng Pilipinas, magandang hapon sa inyong lahat. Sa okasyong ito ay nagbibigay-pugay tayo sa ating mga nagsipagtapos na mga mag-aaral nitong huling taong pang-akademiko 2021 hanggang 2022. Sa inyong lahat na aming mga dating estudyante, ang pamilya ninyo dito sa ating kolehiyo ay nagpapahatid ng taus-pusong mga pagbati at paghahangad ng tagumpay sa inyong mga tatahaking landas. Sa mga kapamilya at iba pang mga mahal sa buhay ng ating mga nagsipagtapos, at sa iba pang tumulong tulad ng mga nagpundar ng mga scholarships na tumustos sa pag-aaral ng madami sa kanila, maraming salamat po sa suportang binigay ninyong lahat. Ang tagumpay ng ating mga nagsipagtapos ay katuparan din ng inyong mga hinangad at pinagdasal para sa kanila. At ang tulong ninyo ay binibigyang pugay din natin sa okasyong ito. Isang natatanging pagtatapos sa kasaysayan ng kolehiyo ang meron tayo ngayong taon. Matapos ang mahigit isang dekada, ay meron na naman tayong isang nagtapos na magna cum laude mula sa ating Juris Doctor program. Kasama ng ating bagong magna cum laude ay 9 na cum laude. Ang pinakamaraming cum laude na nagsipagtapos mula sa ating kolehiyo mula noong taong 1962 o 1962. Mula 1962 lang po kasi ang dokumentong meron tayo sa ating kolehiyo. Pero bagaman hindi mapag-alaman na may katiyakan, di malayo sa posibilidad na kabilang sa mga nagsipagtapos natin ngayong taon ang pinakabadami o di kaya isa sa pinakamadaming may Latin honors sa kasaysayan ng ating kolehiyo. Matapos ang madami ding dekadang pagkahimbing ng ating programa sa Master of Laws, muling nagiging saksi ang kolehiyo sa pagtatapos ng mga mag-aaral mula sa nasabing programa. Matapos ito ay buhayin muli ng ating kolehiyo noong taong 2019. 8 ang nagtapos natin na Master of Laws or LLM students. At kung meron lang Latin honors para sa mga graduadong mag-aaral dito sa universidad, ay magsisipagtapos din sana silang lahat na may ganong karangalan. Hindi mapagkakaila, nakakaibang talino, husay, sipag at tapang ang pinamalas ng ating mga nagsipagtapos ngayong taon. Parang walang pandemya na nangyari sa nakita nating resulta ng pag-aral, pagtrabaho, at pakikipagpaligsahan nila bilang mag-aaral ng kolehiyo. Pero dahil alam nating lahat na damang-dama ng bawat isa ang masisidhing epekto at nakakagulantang na pagbabago na dulot ng pandemya na 1.5 taon na ding dinadanas ng buong mundo, isa lamang ang maaring itapat o itugon ng kolehiyo sa kolektibong tagumpay ng ating mga nagsipagtapos ngayong taon. Yan ang malalim at taos-pusong pagpugay na siya namang ipapakita natin sa seremonyang ito. Kami dito sa kolehiyo ay mapagmalaking nakikibahagi sa kasiyahang dulot ng lahat ng inyong naitamo. Hayaan nyo na din kami na inyong mga guro, kasama ng mga kawani ng kolehiyo at ng UP Law Center na makisalo sa inyong tagumpay. Tagumpay ninyo ang ginugunita sa araw na ito, yan ay hindi maaagaw sa inyo. Pero tagumpay din ng kolehiyo ang kagalingan na ipinamalas ninyo upang makarating sa puntong ito ng inyong mga buhay. Sa loob ng 4, 5, o higit pa na taong pag-aaral ninyo dito sa kolehiyo, madami at malawakang pagbabago sa kurikulo at pagtuturo ang sinikap pairalin ng kaguruan at mga administrasyon ng kolehiyo. Kapag ikabit niyo pa dito ang mga kakaibang paghihirap at pagmamalasakit ng inyong mga guro, at mga naging administrasyon ng kolehiyo para maitawid kayo sa puntong ito ng inyong pagtatapos, masasabi din naman talaga na tagumpay din ng kolehiyo ang inyong tagumpay. Kung iisipin nga naman, sama-sama nating hinarap ang mga hamon na dala ng pandemya. Sinikap nating maipagpatuloy at mapabuti pa nga ang pag-aaral ng batas sa panahon ng remote at blended learning. Ang sinakripisyo nating lahat sa panahon at pagod ay panigurado na walang pagsakripisyong mangyayari sa kalidad ng edukasyon dito sa ating mahal na kolehiyo. Ngulit tulad ng sabi ko nga kanina, ang araw na ito ay araw ng ating mga nagsipagtapos na estudyante. At bago ko wakasan ang pambungad na mensahe kong ito, nararapat lamang na maibalik sa inyo ang tutok ng seremonyang ito. Sa ating mga nagsipagtapos, hayaan nyo lamang na bilang inyong dekano at sa ngalan ng buong kolehiyo ay pasalamatan namin kayong lahat. Kami ay nagpapasalamat sapagkat nang dahil sa pinatunayan ninyong kahusayan sa kabila ng matitinding mga pagsubok na nararanasan nating lahat, pagtiwala sa isa't isa at sa ating mga pamamaraan at kakayahan ang iniiwan ninyo sa amin dito sa kolehiyo. Kami ay nagpapasalamat sapagkat nang dahil sa kolektibong tagumpay na inyong natamo, nag-iiwan kayo ng natataong pag-asa. Ito ay ang pag-asa na kahit sa panahon ng krisis, pangangamba at pighati, basta't kooperasyon at pagtiwala sa kakayahan ng isa't isa ang ating pinairal, ang galing ng mga iskolar ng bayan ng Universidad ng Pilipinas ay hindi matitinag at lalo pang mag-iibayo. Muli, isang taus-pusong pagbati sa inyo, aming mga nagsipagtapos. Mabuhay kayong lahat.
Thank you, beloved Dean Vistan, for your message.
Thank you, Dean Vistan. Thank you, Dean Vistan. I do agree that it's very important to recognize the amazing feats na to pull off ng ating graduates. And it's also important to recognize that it really does take a village to raise a person. So thank you to all the people who supported our graduates as well.
Now, to introduce this year's commencement speaker, we would like to call Professor Michelle B. San Benaventura D., the College Secretary of the UP College of Law.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are truly honored today by the presence of a legal luminary who has made significant contributions to the legal profession. He serves as an inspiration to many for his zeal and dedication in fighting for the Philippines' sovereign rights, speaking out against injustice, and defending the rule of law. Today's distinguished commencement speaker earned his AB Economics degree from the Ateneo de Manila University and earned his Bachelor of Laws degree from the UP College of Law. He graduated as class valedictorian in 1975 and placed 6th in the bar exams of the same year. During his time in the College of Law, he served as chair of the Philippine Law Journal and managing editor of the Collegian. Despite enjoying great professional success, he never forgot his alma mater. As a way of giving back, he taught at the college from 1983 to 1992 and served as a member of the Board of Regents of the university from 1993 to 1998. He eventually heeded the call of public service with his appointment as Chief Presidential Legal Counsel during the term of President Fidel V. Ramos. In 2001, he was appointed to the Supreme Court of the Philippines. As an Associate Justice and subsequently a Senior Associate Justice of the Supreme Court, he contributed significantly to the development of Philippine law and jurisprudence. Upon his retirement in 2019, the Court en banc granted him the same benefits of a Chief Justice and presented him with a plaque recognizing his efforts to protect our national sovereignty and ensure accountability of all government officials, as well as his unparalleled knowledge and applied wisdom of national and international law. In December 2020, the university, led by President Danilo L. Concepcion, conferred a Doctor of Laws honoris causa on our speaker for advocating for the protection and preservation of the country's territorial rights and maritime sovereignty in the West Philippine Sea amid great adversity, and for being a true icon of the Filipino people, embodying a courageous life led in service to the country. Let's give a warm round of applause for today's commencement speaker, retired Senior Associate Justice Antonio T. Carpio.
University of the Philippines Board of Regents Chair J. Prospero E. De Vera III, President Danilo L. Concepcion, members of the Board of Regents, Dean Edgardo Carlo L. Vistan II, university officials, members of the law faculty, graduating class of 2021, fellow students of the law, ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant day to everyone. I wish to thank the graduating class of 2021 for inviting me to address you today. My heartfelt congratulations to all of you for earning the accolade UP Law graduate, one who has learned law in the grand manner, and one who has the legal AGUHON to navigate through the turbulent seas of a lawyer's life. Special mention to the honor graduates for their extraordinary achievement. We live in what I call the age of instant communication, when what you type on your computer or smartphone can instantly travel around the world, reaching tens of millions of people for their information or disinformation. We have experienced that the internet has amplified the power of freedom of expression a millionfold. What we are realizing just now is that along with this amplified power to instantly broadcast worldwide our ideas, there is also an amplified responsibility not to libel others and not to spread disinformation that misleads others. Freedom of expression is a freedom without which all other freedoms cannot exist. Freedom of expression is a bedrock of a free society. Freedom of expression, however, is not absolute. There is no freedom of expression to incite imminent lawless action. There is no freedom of expression to disclose state secrets. There is also no freedom of expression to libel others. However, libelous comments are what pollute our online platforms today, together with tons of disinformation, libelous or not, directed to mislead the people to act against their own interest. Libelous comments and disinformation posted by fake or fictitious users on online platforms are the tools of those who hide the truth and sow confusion in the public mind. Libelous comments and disinformation are possible because online platforms allow their users to post comments using fake or fictitious names. A person hiding behind a fake or fictitious name will say anything he wants, libelous or not, disseminating information whether true or false. A person hiding behind a fake or fictitious name feels no responsibility to speak the truth. A person hiding behind a fake or fictitious name has no fear of being penalized for ascribing falsehoods against anyone or for spreading disinformation. The use of fake or fictitious names is the perfect tool to libel anyone or to spread disinformation without being held to account. Online platforms willingly allow users to use fake or fictitious names because it allows anyone to open multiple accounts under different names, ostensibly showing more users of the platform, generating higher internet traffic, all of which translate into higher viewership and therefore higher advertisement rates. It is all about income. The online platforms have a financial incentive not to require commentators to use their real names or to disclose their addresses. Thus, we find a fake or fictitious name such as Filipenis Chimgago, who is obviously not a Filipino, but someone from China because he posts comments supporting China's claim to the West Philippine Sea and denigrating the arbitral award in favor of the Philippines. Filipenis Chimgago has supporters with names like Junior Tulo, Boy Bukol, and Kolokoy Boy, and similar outlandish names. Nobody knows who these people are, not even the online platforms that have allowed them to post comments. These commentators viciously attack the political opposition and obsequiously praise the Duterte administration. They consistently support China's encroachment of Philippine exclusive economic zone in the West Philippine Sea. They obviously belong to troll farms financed by China. Facebook has shut down troll farms based in Fujian province in China that have been supporting President Rodrigo Duterte. The Philippine Daily Inquirer reported on September 23, 2020, and I quote, "Social media giant Facebook has shut down several fake Facebook accounts and pages, the contents of which were supportive of President Rodrigo Duterte and the possible 2022 presidential bid of his daughter, Davao City Mayor Sara Duterte Carpio. The fake accounts were traced to individuals from China's Fujian province. Nathaniel Glacier, head of Facebook security policy, said Tuesday night. According to Glacier, the pages and accounts engaged in, quote-unquote, coordinated inauthentic behavior, with their postings about global news and matters relating to the West Philippine Sea and operations of the United States Navy in 3 languages, Chinese, English, and Filipino, end of quote. Meanwhile, 12 senators recently filed a resolution to open an investigation into troll farms ostensibly funded by a government agency under the Duterte administration. Let me quote the July 23, 2021 report of ABS-CBN News. 12 senators have called for an investigation into reports that public funds were allegedly being spent on troll farms to spread misinformation and fake news online. Senate Resolution 768 states, and I quote, Filipinos should know why government spends public funds on troll farms operators disguised as public relations practitioners and social media consultants who sow fake news rather than on COVID-19 assistance, healthcare, food security, job protection, education, among others. End of quote. These troll farms will surely be active in our May 2022 national elections as they have been active in our 2016 and 2019 elections. These troll farms can destroy any candidate by relentlessly spreading disinformation about the candidate in social media. Some of those thinking of running for president or vice president in 2022 are delaying their announcements for fear of being attacked by these troll farms. The intimidating presence of these troll farms in our national politics is real and extremely disturbing. Online platforms are publishers. However, in the United States, online platforms like Facebook and Twitter are not liable for the libelous comments of their users under the Safe Harbor Clause in Section 320 of the Communications Decency Act of 1996 of the United States. In the Philippines, online platforms can be held liable for libelous comments of their users, just like any print, TV, or radio media. However, there is still no Philippine jurisprudence holding online platforms, foreign or domestic, liable for libelous comments of fake or fictitious users of their platforms. Online platforms have allowed fake or fictitious persons to post clearly libelous comments and disinformation on their platforms to generate interest and traffic to their platforms. In the Philippines, public officials or public figures libeled online by fake or fictitious persons can, of course, sue the online platform as a publisher. However, these public officials or public figures do not usually file libel cases because they have to overcome the presumption of good faith. The burden of proving malice is on the libeled public officials or public figures. The law must be amended that malice is presumed on the part of the publisher if the libelous comment is made by a fake or fictitious person who has been allowed by the online platform to make the libelous comment without verifying his identity. But until the law is amended, online platforms in the Philippines are not bothered by libel suits for comments posted by their fake or fictitious users. This has led to the proliferation of all kinds of disinformation, malicious or not, in online platforms. There is a gap between the existing libel law and what should be the ideal justice in case of online libel. The use of fake or fictitious names in online platforms to libel a person is per se a sign of malice, and this should be written in the law. The use of fake and fictitious names also encourages the spread of disinformation in social media. We are all for freedom of expression, but we are also for the truth and for a level playing field. Anyone who imputes in social media a crime or derogatory act on another person must disclose his real identity to allow the libeled person a legal remedy against his defamer. The defamer must not be allowed to hide behind a fake or fictitious name. The burden must be placed on the online platform publisher to require those who post comments to disclose their real identities, country of residence, and addresses. The addresses can be given to the libeled person upon request to allow him to exercise his legal remedy. If the online platform allows a user to use a fake or fictitious name or refuses to secure the addresses of the users who post libelous comments against public officials or public figures, then malice should be presumed and the online platform should be liable for triple damages. I am a firm believer in freedom of expression. I am not in favor of banning foreigners in foreign lands to post comments on online platforms in the Philippines, no matter how offensive their comments may be. But these foreigners must disclose their real identities, addresses, and country of residence in the same way that we Filipinos, when we write columns or letters to the editor, disclose our real identities and addresses. I only want a level playing field for Filipinos. This existing gap between law and justice on online libel can only be closed by a mandatory legislation. However, we do not expect that the present Congress, where the Duterte administration has an overwhelming majority in both chambers, will enact a mandatory legislation before the May 2022 elections. Thus, during the campaign period for the May 2022 elections, the troll farms will proliferate and will be very active in spreading libelous comments and disinformation against targeted candidates. The operation of troll farms is very expensive, and only the most moneyed candidates can afford the services of troll farms. We are thus faced with a situation where the existing gap between the law and justice on online libel will continue and can heavily influence the results of the 2022 elections. How do we solve a problem of this magnitude that can gravely endanger our democratic way of life? The interim solution before a mandatory legislation is possible to close the gap between law and justice is to appeal to the sense of civic duty of media, both the journalists and the online platform publishers. Fortunately, last July 17, 2021, the Philippine media on their own have voluntarily come together and issued a statement called the Election 2022 Pledge for Journalists and Media Organization. The pledge was signed by over 300 journalists and over 40 news outlets, including the leading print and broadcast networks, local and regional news organizations, and associations in the country. The journalists and the news outlets undertook, among others, to, and I quote, challenge and correct statements and claims that have no basis in fact and avoid highlighting or amplifying falsehoods hate speech, and incitements to violence. Unfortunately, this pledge of the journalists and news outlets, while indeed laudable and helpful, will not stop the trolls from spreading libelous comments, hate speech, and disinformation in the run-up to the May 2022 elections. Online platforms will still allow trolls to use fake or fictitious names, which is the heart of the problem. I therefore appeal to our journalists, news outlets, and all online platforms operating in the Philippines to go one step further, to require all those who post comments on their platforms to reveal their real names and country of residence, and to maintain in their files the addresses of these users, so that any person who may have been libeled by such comments can exercise his or her legal remedy against such users. In this way, we can bring back civility and rationality to the political discourse in our nation. You, the graduates of UP Law 2021, having been taught law in the grand manner, must likewise practice law in the grand manner. Practicing law in the grand manner means closing the gaps between law and justice, and thus contributing to the progress and development of the law. The gaps arise because of new circumstances, new technologies, or new ideas. The gaps may be closed by a mandatory or new legislation. But these gaps may not be closed immediately as they arise. These gaps may temporarily be closed by implementing rules or by jurisprudence. In the case of online libel by trolls, the gap may be closed by jurisprudence, but this will take time beyond the May 2022 elections. We are thus left to appealing to the sense of civic duty of the men and women in our media, the journalists, and those who run news outlets and online platforms in the Philippines. Let us all ensure that trolls, fake news, and disinformation cannot dictate the results of a vital exercise of our democratic project, the national elections in May 2022. Once again, congratulations and padayon to UP Law Class of 2021. Thank you and a pleasant day to everyone.
Thank you, Justice Carpio, for the rousing message. May your words serve as an inspiration for the class of 2021 and remind them of their roots and duties as scholars ng bayan.
May the graduating class take your words to heart and carry it with them as they embark on their journey into the legal profession. We would like to acknowledge the presence of Professor Danilo Concepcion, President of the University of the Philippines. Hello, Professor. Enzo, this is it.
This is it, Mika.
Yes. And now, we'll proceed to the moment we have all been waiting for. The presentation of graduates of the class of 2021.
To present the graduates from the inaugural class of the UP College of Law, Master of Laws program, is the program's Deputy Director, Professor Andre C. Palacios.
It is my honor to present the candidates for graduation from the UP College of Law Master of Laws program for the academic year 2020-2021. The class of 2021 is composed of 8 students graduating with a degree of Master of Laws. Borja Neil Anthony Sula. Dalisay Jose III Yap. Ejército Christine Jane Bertes. Funtila Abugan Carla Ang. Gentogaya Mia. Madrid Christopher Gabriel laureo. Ceciliano Jefferson Cortezano. Valderrama Nico Bautista. Dean Edgar. It's my honor to present the candidates.
Thank you so much, Professor Palacios. At pagbati sa mga nagsipagtapos sa Masters of Laws program ng Kolehiyo ng Batas, padayon sa inyo.
Now, to present the graduates for the Juris Doctor program, let us all welcome once again Professor Michelle B. San Buenaventura D., College Secretary of the UP College of Law.
It is my honor to present the candidates for graduation from the UP College of Law for the academic year 2020 to 2021. The class of 2021 is composed of 218 students graduating with the degree of Juris Doctor, 9 of whom are graduating cum laude and 1 of whom is graduating magna cum laude. Presenting the students graduating with academic honors. Codornes, Danica May Melu, magna cum laude. Abon, Angelica Tuginayo, cum laude. Beira, Paul Nathan Abduhalim, cum laude. Espinosa, Sofia Francesca Zaraga, cum laude. Gabriel Giancarlo Christopher de Guzman, cum laude. Guanyo Maria Karina Teresa Garcia, cum laude. Lee Monica Therese Banson, cum laude. Medalla Jose Patricio Sandoval, cum laude. Mendoza John Alfred Hocco, cum laude. Oliveros Amy Nicole Lofranco, cum laude. Ladies and gentlemen, the UP College of Law Class of 2021 Honor Graduates. Presenting the graduates of UP College of Law Class of 2021. Sean Stephen Soriano. Abon Angelica Tuginayo. Abonado Raji Rachel Castillo. Alianan Arthur Lyndon Ang. Alianan Richmond Jerry Limpe. Alonzo, Royland Rigid Kent Almagro. Amparo, John Albert Rubio. Antonio, Alexandra Chelsea Lopez. Arada, Mary Jo de Jesus. Arcadio, Robert Daniel Bautista. Arcinas, Marian Michelle Garcia. Arquero, Paulo Miguel Serrano. Arteaga, Katrina Krista Marceliani. Aison, Addison Amiel Canlas. Aison, Nika Feliz Pajarillo. Aziz, Eliza Campos. Balindong, Ali Pangalian III Ampatua. Banaag, Clark Aldwin Briones. Banaag, Chris Marco Valdevieso. Banogon, Barzilay Josh Manuel. Bautista, Earl Anthony Villacarlos. Bauzon, David Miguel Ovalia. Beira, Paul Nathan Abduhalim. Belenzo, Richelle Clef. Bernardino, Micaela Villamor. Briones, Jasper Frederick Cortez. Buban, Ana Regina Atendido. Bustamante, Julian Robbie David. Cabildo, Jennifer Corazon de Leon. Kakda, Michael Marie Caraos. Cadano, Yusef Riel Bernabe. Capito, Dayanara Badidles. Cardenio, Andre John Lee. Carillo, Pauline Angela De Leon. Cariño, Gershon Pulieros. Carolino, Beata Regina Uri. Castillo, Antonio Ramon Liwag. Capital, John Vincent Gonzalez. Cavestani, Lester Galvez. Chua, George Jr. So. Ko, Edward Jasper Tan. Ko, Stephanie Winchell Tan. Cosico, Jean Michelle Valerio. Crudo, Emily Jean Austria. Cruz, Anjo. Cruz, Camille Angela Santana. Cruz, Jan Frederick Pangilinan. Cruz, Jeff Gabriel Mendoza. Cruz, Kyle Andrew Halal. Basilio, Princess Camille Montesilio. Daliwag, Rona Mariel Gavino. Dalumpines, Jose Angelo II Lopez. David Danessa Ann Paragas. David Riza Don Angeli Cantila. De Castro Princess Ira Grulia. De Guzman Robbie Ryan Rabago. De Juan Ray Alan Lo. De La Paz Gian Nicolo Antonio Hermo. De Leon Carla May Encarnacion. De Mesa Mary Camille Lucero. Del Mundo Michael Lawrence Lacuna. De la Cruz Jerome Joker Margalio. Delgado Alia John de Guzman. De Veza Catherine May Daumar. Di Sumangkok Hafiza Di Sumangkok. Dumundon Carlos Stefano Azcaraga. Egam Joanna Marie Escalona. Elevazo David D. Epanag Shane Bianca Carbondelia. Ermitaño Noli Abanilia. Escalante Christine Joy Santos. Espinosa Sofia Francesca Zaraga. Esteban Razel Ann Pelandas. Estuesta, Francis Cecil Gomez. Fernandez, Jaime Salazar. Fernandez, Jenna Veronica Fernandez. Fernandez, Joanne Eunice Alfon. Fernandez, Jose Carlo Soriano. Ferrer, Aldrin Dale Enrique. Ferrer, Jacob Martin Cariño. Flores, Derek Joy Almonte. Fumaneg, Florida Kediam. Fortune, Raymond Willem Castillo. Gabay, Cristel Pearl Villanueva. Gabriel, Giancarlo Christopher de Guzman. Gallardo Rainer Santos. Georgina Kenneth Pastor. Herodias Gino Ismael Santos. Jerónimo Juno Vilela. Godornes Danica May Melu. Gonzalez Angelo Salvador. Gorion Clarissa Joyce Rojas. Guanyo Maria Karina Teresa Garcia. Hueco Gabriel Alcid. Israel Patricia Karina Aurea. Javier Mikhail Ramon Largoza. Lakap Diego Carmelo de los Reyes. Ladriliano Joshua Marcos. Lantil Franz Albert Agoyaoy. Lapidario Anika Micaela Lectana. La Torre Martin Brian Jr. Villavicencio. Laurente Aleria Celine Aguiapas. Lee Monica Feliz Banzon. Le Sigues Lenvic Eliser Riños. Layson Felix Gerard Jr. Dorotan. Liku Johanna Cas Amodia. Lopez Fides Carissa Bianca Reyes. Lopez Maribel Nicole de Guzman. Losa Diane Faye Andrade. Lota Andrew Stephen Santos. Lu Ray Emmanuel Santos. Lucindo Patricia Adeline Aquino. Lugo Christian Paul Rodriguez. Luna Raquel Monique Loma. Macapado Yaniza Akraman. Macaragbon City Aisha Bedar. Maikes Shine Carrera. Malferrari Nicolette Sioson. Malit Nathaniel Pardo. Mandap Mark Ernest Eugenio. Maniri Muhammad Yasin Macau. Maniwa Michael Saison. Manuel Jose Angelo de Guzman. Manzanares Ernest Luigi Acevedo. Maravilla Kathleen Perlas. Marmeto Gabriel Ronquillo. Marte Martina Marlene Solas. Marteja Micaela Sinyo. Matawaran Michael Kent Magnaye. Medalla Jose Patricio Sandoval. Medina Rabelais Fuelias. Mendiola Samantha Isabel Avila. Mendoza John Alfred Hokbo. Miguel Bianca Micaela San Pedro. Miranda Isabel Ray Pineda. Montemayor Ana Carmela Betia. Montenegro Chinette Pesigan. Montero Cheryl Ina Duran. Navarro Justin Aquino. Negre Johan Daniel Martinez. Nicolas Krisia Camille Pexon. Mimi Fidel Rico Icot. Mardia Sanusi. Odsi Vanayan Dolly Is. Oliveros Amy Nicole Lofranco. Ornelas Elmore Edward Jupiter. Ortega Ana Lauren Marie de Jesus. Ortega Ignatius Dominic Cristobal. Ortiz Bianca Isabella Joaquin. Uano Diana K. Atupan. Pakariem Christine Bernadette Alibuyo. Padilla Jean Danica Alarcio. Padilla Zoe Isabel D. Panda Amal Jayida Alawia. Paredes Angelica Israel. Pascual Ana Marie Angelica de Guzman. Pascual Bernice Joy Glipo. Pastrana Jose Narciso Balmes. Paulo Geraldine Marie Villamante. Peralta Clarice Ann Gomez. Pichay Ana Patricia Echivere. Pilones Ronaldin Villa. Flamenco Gloiza Rufina Meneses. Lopinio Hannah Georgia Flores. Protasio Mary Clarence Angela Tuazo. Quebec Anne Frances Soliven. Ramirez Jess Christian Diaz. Ramos Jonathan James Gonzalez. Ramos Mildred Tulod. Remonte Anya Katrina Isabel Abay. Respicio Juan Valeriano IV Cortez. Reyes Rocco Alejandro Dizon. Roa Polly Ariel Batarila. Roman Jose Lorenzo Timbol. Rosales, Tanya Renee Fernandez. Rosete, Mario III Tingosia. Saises, Closter Paul Montances. Sales, Patricia Marie Padilla. San Diego, Danica Marie de la Cruz. Sandigan, Harris Unarce. Santos, Jurela Guiahara Datumano. Santos, Maria Patricia de Vera. Santos, Shaina Marie Sumayo. Serrano, John Edric Ramos. Sinsuat, Dato Aureli Ibin Aldwin Firdaus Camacho. Socrates, Juan Pablo Pangalangan. Sol Cruz, Marie Leozel Anthony Go. Solitario, Jan Mikhail Gabriel. Soriano, Christine Bernadette Francisco. Suarez, Anne Renee Torres. Suarez, Maria Carmela Bernal. Suerte Felipe, Jesus Cristina Suasba. Suya, Von Angelo Merioles. Takando, Maria Samira Castillo. Tagarao, Isaiah Jeremy Casino. Tagibaw, Micah Amethyst Montano. Tamayo, Marnel Louis Sid. Tan, Rebecca Gloria Cordero. Teston, Raya Sofia Alvarez. Torres, Leslie Dayan Dumasapal. Trillies, Jevelyn Corsiga. Trinidad, Irene Carmela Pasis. Tulalian, Lauren Bea Ikatlo. Umali, Miguel Carlos Takal. Shayalin De Hoya. Velez, Christian Imari Alcid. Ventura, Alexandra Ocromas. Villafuerte, Ian Jonathan Rasay. Villanca, Rogerson Villanueva. Villanueva, John Paul Pasion. Binluan, Don Clark Farrell Corleto III Olieras. Vitriolo, Samantha Isabel. Warren, Samantha Nicole Martinez. Yaman, Mara Donna Alvendia. Yazon, Francesca Micaela Payumo. Yokinko John Colin Estrada. UC Paulo Romero Javier. Zanzibar John Michael De Sena. Congratulations, class of 2021.
Thank you, Professor San Benaventura D, and congratulations to UP Law Class of 2021. Padayon.
Pagbati sa inyong mga nagsipagtapos ngayong taon. Grabe, Mika, imagine mo, after more than 10 years, meron ulit magna cum laude yung College of Law.
At hindi lang yan, sobrang dami ng cum laudes ngayon. Ang gagaling ng batch na to, grabe talaga.
Tapos, 23 Dean Listers. Nakaka-pressure siya for our batch, pero Mika, sasabihin ko lang sa'yo, hindi ka magpapatalo.
Siyempre yung batch 2022, hindi rin, di ba, mga batchmates?
Oo,
May nanonood.
Magkakatapatan naman tayo sa mga susunod na. Titignan natin, Mika.
Pero saludo talaga tayo sa batch 2021. At wait lang, wag natin kalimutan, first time ever din na may graduates tayo sa Masters of Laws programs ng UP Law. Ayun
nga, oo, naisip ko, nasa law school pa lang ako, yung pagod na ako. Tapos sila, nakapag-masters pa sila, tinapos pa nila. First time ever, amazing, commendable, wow.
Magaling. Wala akong masabi. Kaya nga ito na, ipakilala natin sila. Nais namin batiin at bigyang pagkilala ang kauna-unahang batch ng Masters of Laws program ng Universidad ng Pilipinas, Diliman.
Kabila po ng hamon ng pandemya na tunay na nagpatigil sa lahat ng mga pangyayari dito sa ating ekonomiya, politika, at sa buong Pilipinas, sila po nagpatuloy pa rin sa kanilang pag-aaral at nagpakita ng kakaibang antas ng pagsisiyasat at pag-unawa sa ating propesyon at sa mga pinag-aaralan natin. Paksa na kakaiba, hindi lamang pambansa, kundi batas internasyonal. Sila po ang tunay na mangunguna sa kinabukasan hinggil sa pag-iisip, pagsusulat at paglilikha ng mga makabagong batas ng ating bansang Pilipinas. Nawa po'y patuloy niyong ipakita
ang mga minibitihin ng ating universidad, husay at dangal, tapang at katarungan.
It was not too long ago that I was once at your place, excited for graduation. And the truth is, the real work began soon after. And with that came many challenges, which in hindsight, inspired me to work even harder so that someday, I can also deserve to be called a worthy son of our Malcolm Hall. Obstacles came. In fact, many career-changing obstacles came. But rising above and beyond these obstacles, bruised by both approbation and sometimes even criticism, fighting with courage, not hesitating to risk and get hurt fighting for the country or what you believe in, is what I continue to aspire to live by. Having been taught in the grand manner, much is expected from us. As much had been expected of your brothers and sisters in the profession who came before you, all of whom I am sure are truly happy for you today. Biruin nyo, despite the odds, despite COVID, despite the pandemic, you all managed to make it. And congratulations for that.
First of all, I think it wasn't easy. I think it's more of a very challenging experience, allowed me to really transform myself into a better lawyer.
Well, I live in San Mateo, Rizal. That's quite a distance from the BGC campus where we have our classes. Despite that, because my classmates were almost never absent. I myself was absent only once during the entire academic year. We really felt challenged to attend classes, even if you're not required to be present at all times.
I believe that the UPLLM program gives the students a sense of pride and confidence that their learning is at par with that of other law students from well-renowned international law schools.
Once you become a part of the UPLLM program, it puts time management into another dimension. Most of us students in the program are actually juggling our time for work, personal life, and the classes.
Mas masaya ko. For some reason, kasi nga has been my dream. This is my last chance for me. This is my last chance to get that UP degree. And the program has changed me because it told me that there is no harm in trying and trying and trying again. Even if you fail several times, it's okay. Even if you do not get it the first time, it's okay.
Biging family in the program. My colleagues, especially in the Alpha Batch, I think for keeps na to eh. Even after the program, even after graduating, we graduate as one. So, hihintayin namin yung 33 na yun na makagraduate kami lahat. Yung mga kasama namin sa Alpha, hindi na lang yan for LLM. It's for the rest of our lives na connected na talaga kami.
This is an experience of a lifetime. My personal life was definitely enriched by the very diverse yet cohesive pioneer batch. We're just a zany, intelligent, funny batch. My LLM degree has given me the courage to take a new journey. This time in the academe as a mentor of the law. It is a token of gratefulness, scholar ng bayan, para sa bayan.
Now, as all our graduates enjoy their first few moments past the finish line of their long and arduous journey, may we call upon Danica May Melugo-Dornes, the UP College of Law Class of 2021 Valedictorian and Magna Cum Laude, to deliver their message to the batch.
Dean Edgardo Carlo Vistan, honorable guests, distinguished members of the UP College of Law faculty, the administrative and support staff, beloved parents, friends, loved ones, and to my fellow UP Law graduates, a pleasant afternoon to all of you. As late as Thursday last week, I had no inkling that I will be speaking before you today. In all honesty, thoroughly exhausted with the seemingly endless review preparations for the November 2021 bar exams, My only concern at that time was to see my name included in the official lists of graduates. But to my surprise, last Friday, I received a call from Professor Michelle San Buenaventura D, our college secretary, advising me to prepare the valedictory speech. It was only then, and with mixed feelings, that I realized that it would be my responsibility to represent the UP College of Law class of 2021. The idea was initially met with my reluctance, for how can I represent this varied group of individuals composed of the most brilliant minds that I have ever encountered? I spent countless hours, to a fault, trying to put into words the journey that has been, trying to emphasize each and everyone's struggle to victory. But at the end of the day, I must admit that unlike my more eloquent batchmates, words are not my greatest strength. But I will try to share to you my reflections over the years that I've spent in the university. As I stand before you today, I am a person I no longer recognize as a nail-biting, nervous freshman that entered UP Diliman 10 years ago. And I'm not alone in this. Each one of us entered the university a unique product of our individual backgrounds. But today, we will leave sharing the experience of having gone through the crucible that is the UP College of Law. During our stay in its hallowed halls, the college burned our idealism and our innocence. It forged into us through fire and even through our professors' fury the values of being righteous, just, pragmatic, and discerning, and at this point in time, hopeful want to be lawyers. But if I will be to ask to describe what is the essence of UP Law education, I say that the college teaches us strength. I have heard it said in this distinguished forum that the college teaches us fear. Fear of recitations, fear of exams, fear of our professors, and hence it was said that to graduate, we must learn to fight fear. However, I would like to offer to you another perspective on the matter. All of us here today, as well as those who stood before us, went through hardships, experienced unfairness, and even survived disappointments and travails, which oftentimes made us doubt ourselves. But in common, we remained stoic and we prevailed. I think we did not conquer fear, for me that is impossible and even contrary to human nature. Instead, what we showed is strength. Strength of character, strength to admit our mistakes and our limits, and also strength to overcome the seemingly impossible, armed with nothing but only our faith. And rightfully so, for the business of the College of Law is not to graduate soldiers, but to make great lawyers. The theme chosen for today is AGUHON. It is the Visayan word for compass, a tool used for finding locations. And I believe as first graduates of the new normal world of Zoom education, there is nothing more that could describe our class more aptly. And even though we are part of the pioneering class, from where we stand today, there is no certainty where we will be few years or even decades from now. For careers are not ladders that we climb, but pathways we navigate, wherein there will be unexpected turns and dark twists, where surprises, opportunities, and even failures lie. And we would fail. That is a fact of life that the college has harshly emphasized to us. But what will define us is how would we deal with this failure, our characters, our careers, and ultimately our lives. Failure oftentimes does not need to be failure at all. However, we must be ready to face it. We must have the strength to accept and to realize when it occurs, because it is only then that we will have the steps necessary to correct and to overcome these failures. The difference between success and failure, I believe, is not the willingness to take risks, but it's more of how we master our own defeats. Disappointment stings, and for driven and successful people like us, it is disheartening and disorienting. However, we must be confident that whatever it will be, it will never be greater than what every one of us experienced throughout these halls of the college. So all those times, we must remember and look back at the college and how it made us strong. Today, we, the class of 2021, are the new. But someday down the road, we will become the old and will be cleared away. Indeed, our prime is limited. And so let us not waste it living someone else's life or dream. We should not be trapped by dogma, living with the results of others people's thinking. We should not let the noise of others' opinion drown our own voices, hearts, and intuition. We are the authors of our lives. We create our own stories and we create our own compass. Be not afraid of those who think unlike us, and let us forget the biases and hatred that we learned in the sandbox of our youth. Sadly, the world outside law school is a paradise lost, set with temptations that try one's firmest convictions. It is unfortunate that it is not uncommon to hear that some members of the legal profession are in the forefront in violating the rule of law, disregarding due process to advance their selfish interests. And that is the tragic truth. We will face foolishness, ignorance, dishonesty, corruption, and even hatred at every stages of our lives. However, through it all, we must persist. As former US Barack Obama puts it, we should never compromise our core values and integrity. As scholars ng bayan and future lawyers, we have the responsibility and the duty to speak up in the face of injustice. We should be motivated by the strengths that we develop in the university. Years from now, many of us would likely hold key positions in the government and would wield the so-called awesome state powers. By that time, I hope that each one of us still maintain fidelity to the rule of law and be guided by our inherent love to the Filipino people. To achieve this, we should not be afraid to listen and learn from others, even though they be our adversaries, our youngsters, or our subordinates. UP products, especially those from the College of Law, were often described as a bunch who love hearing themselves. And this is not unfounded at all, because all of us, at some point in time, were guilty of ridiculing the uninformed, mocking their opinions and their beliefs, in a subtle way to highlight our competence over them. And such pervasive mindset betrays the character of a true scholar ng bayan, who, first and foremost, is a scholar para sa bayan. As UP Law graduates, we ought to engage. If the other side has a point, we must listen and learn. If they are wrong, we must teach and educate without the pejorative undertones. Our law education, although admittedly a source of pride, is a humbling experience and should never be used as a basis for being boastful. As UP graduates, we should carry this humility as we walk past through the corridors of Malcolm Hall and the BGC campus. In the eve of our entry into the legal profession, we do so in dire and dangerous times. Violation of the law, the Constitution, and the merciless killings of lawyers are rampant, unabated, and with impunity. But let us be guided with what Martin Luther King said. Through violence you may murder the liar, but you will never murder the lie nor establish the truth. Through violence you may murder the hater, but you will never murder the hate. Darkness cannot overcome darkness, only light can do that. Hatred cannot overcome hatred, only love can do that. We must always remember to stay loyal to the lawyer's creed. Offer only faithfulness, diligence, competence, and good judgment. Represent the people as we would want to be represented. Be worthy of their trust. Be right and be strong. We are living in a historic time. We graduated in the midst of a global pandemic, and most of us expressed that today's celebration is a far cry from the grand finale we've come to expect when we enter the college. Despite the unconventional format of our graduation, we should remember that it does not diminish our accomplishments. More importantly, we must be thankful for the privilege of being present here today, although behind the screens of our computer, but at least well and safe. We are combating a virus that keeps on evolving, and its effects in our daily lives are unsettling. This public crisis is even being heightened to another level with the divisiveness plaguing our society. And although differences in opinion is inevitable, we must always remember our common goal, and that is to establish a just and equitable society governed by the rule of law. As I close my speech, let us honor the people who were with us in every step of our arduous journey. Without them, we will not be here celebrating with great pride and joy. Let us thank our dear families who showed us selfless love and unconditional support as we pursued our dreams of becoming part of the legal profession. To our dearest professors, we thank you for imparting your knowledge and wisdom to us, as well as your dedication in honing us to be great lawyers, despite us being a frustrating experience at times. If I may, I would like to personally thank Dean Fides Cordero-Tan, Professor Katrina Legarda, Professor Charlie Yu, and Professor Ryan Oliva, who gave me the encouragement to continue with law school at times when I was personally devastated. I would also like to thank in particular Professor Michael Chu Jr., Professor Stephanie Sumera, Professor Patricia Prodigalidad, and Professor Patricia Salvador Daway, who accepted me back to their classes after I withdrew my application for leave of absence back in 2019. It is through your compassion that I am here standing before you today. To the graduation committee, I thank you for maximizing every avenue to try to make this graduation as memorable as possible for us. To my blockmates, Block D 2021, I will forever be grateful for the support you have showed me. It is a great honor to learn law in the grand manner in your company. To the university that became my home for almost a decade, and to each and every taxpayer that subsidized my college education and now my UP Law education, I thank you all from the bottom of my heart. I promise to pay it forward and serve the people. And finally, to my parents and to my Kuya Dom, wherever you are, I know you're watching over me and I hope I made you all proud. My fellow graduates, as we celebrate our success today, let us not forget that it is through the humbling experience that we received in the halls of this great college that we were instilled with the values of honor and excellence. And it is also through this humbling experience that we will become great lawyers. Always remember that it is not being called sir or ma'am that we become great. It is having the strength to say po and opo with utmost sincerity even to the most underprivileged of us that we become great lawyers. Maraming salamat po at magandang hapon sa inyong lahat.
You made us all proud, Danica. Thank you for that inspiring and profound message. And congratulations. Congratulations also to the rest of the batch for a job well done. And next, to administer the oath to the UP Law Alumni Association, let us welcome Attorney Jose Perpetuo M. Lotilla, the President of the Association.
Graduates, please rise. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name, do solemnly pledge that I will faithfully and conscientiously fulfill my duties as a graduate of the University of the Philippines College of Law and uphold its honorable traditions, imbued by the spirit of its mission to teach law in the grand manner and to make great lawyers. I will endeavor to earn my own place among alumni who, by their devotion to this ideal, have brought recognition and honor to our alma mater. I do solemnly swear to commit myself to the highest standards of service in the law profession, bearing in mind my ethical responsibilities and social responsibility to work for the attainment of a just and humane society. I promise to contribute to the improvement of the legal system and the quality administration of the system of justice in our society for the full protection of human rights. I do solemnly swear to provide moral, intellectual, and generous support, and I will encourage others to do the same for my alma mater and thus contribute to the perpetuation of the noble institution that is the UP College of Law. So help me God.
Hindi naging madali ang napagdaanan ng UP Law community sa lumipas na taon dahil sa kasalukuyang pandemya. Bagamat hanggang ngayon ay mayroon pa ring pangamba at walang katiyakan, sama-sama tayong naninindigan lumalaban at humaharap upang ipagpatuloy ang ating buhay sa pamantasan bilang isang mag-aaral, kawani o guro.
Yumauman ang ating mga kasamahan sa UP College of Law, alalahanin natin ang kanilang paglilingkod na may husay at dangal sa ating paaralan. Maraming salamat po sa inyong serbisyo. Hindi namin kayo malilimutan.
The memories of these people and all that they've done for us will never be forgotten. As we prepare to send off the graduates onto the next leg of their journey into the legal profession, we would like to call Professor Solomon Lumba, Associate Dean of the UP College of Law, to deliver the closing remarks.
Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. Dito na po magwawakas ang ating mumunting programa. Ngunit huwag niyo pong isipin na gayon pa man ay dito magtatapos ang ating samahan at ang ating istorya. Dahil ipagpapatuloy po natin ito sa isang mas malawak at malaking larangan ng lipunan. Oo, totoo, maaaring iba't iba ang ating mga pinanggalingan. Ngunit sa panghuli, iisa lang naman ang ating patutunguhan. Iisa lang ang ating istorya sapagkat ito ang istorya ng pangkatauhan. Hindi kinakailangan na humantong sa kalungkutan o trahedya ang kwentong ito sapagkat kung tayo ay magkakapit-bisig, magtutulong-tulong at magdadamayan, maitatawid natin ang ating sarili at ang ating kapwa patungo sa mas magandang kinabukasan. Kung kaya naman sa ngalan ng Presidente ng Universidad ng Pilipinas, Danilo Concepcion, Chancellor ng UP Diliman, Fidel Nemencio, ang ating panauhing pangdangal, dating Senior Associate Justice Antonio Carpio, ang ating Dekano, Edgardo Carlo Vistan II, at ang ating mga profesor at kawani, mabuhay ang Padayon 2021. Mabuhay ang UP College of Law. Mabuhay ang Universidad ng Pilipinas. Mabuhay ang sambayanang Pilipino. At mabuhay ang sangkatauhan. Yan na lamang po, mabuhay po tayong lahat. Maraming salamat.
Maraming salamat, Professor Lumba. Graduates, sa inyong pagtatapos, huwag niyo sanang limutin ang mga aral na inyong gagamitin upang tahakin at pagtagumpayan ang mga hamon na naghihintay sa labas ng universidad.
Sa 4 o higit pang taon na inyong inilagi, ibitbit nyo ang tungkulin bilang mga susunod na tagapagtanggol ng bayan na paglingkuran ng sambayanan ng buong dangal at husay. Muli, ako si Micaela Solmerano.
At ako si Enzo Lazaro.
Mabuhay ang pag-asa ng bayan! UP Law Class of 2021, ang UP naming mahal.
UP na